welcome to Scrappin with Sheri. We're on page 44 in our sketchbook today, and when I glanced at this, I thought this is going to be super easy, but there are a few directional challenges we'll look at as we go through this page. So I am going to make this a two-page spread, and I've pulled leftovers of some different things. This is from the Copper Canyon Secret Box. It's got that teal on the back, sort of a brownish color, kind of a terracotta brown, I guess. And then I pulled this with the blue vines from the Croptoberfest collection for 2023. And those colors look really good with the pictures I've got here. I also pulled this green sticker strip. It's a border strip. Instead of making a border to go on this, I decided to use up the sticker strip that I've got. But you can see the pictures look really good with these papers that I've chosen. So I'm pleased with that. I know all of these pictures look good with the blues and the browns and the orangey browns. So it has made it easier to choose papers. I just keep a stash of all of these close by. Now, because I'm going to make this a two-page spread, the blues are going to be my background colors on each page. And I'm going to do the design using this paper. So it tells us on the instructions to cut a 4.5 by 12 and then cut it in half diagonally. So let's do that and see what these directions tell us to do. So 4.5, and to cut it in half diagonally, you're just going to need to line up the points on your cutting line on your mat. Now that's a little bit difficult because of the size of it, but I think we can make it work. If not, we can snip it with our scissors on the very end. And I've got a little measurement thing at the bottom of my trimmer, so it's making it harder for me to get right to the end. So it did work. Now, here's the problem that I was already thinking we were going to have. This one goes this way, which is great, but this one is not that shape unless you flip it. And I don't really want to flip that because I don't want to bring in the teal colors. So for me to do a two-page spread, I need to cut another of these, and I need to cut it on the opposite diagonal. I hope that makes sense. That one we cut this way. So let's cut another 4.5. Now, if you've got paper you like both sides, this would be a great thing to do, to just flip this one, and you would have two different designs on each side. But this time, instead of cutting end to end this way, I'm going to go this way with it. And that's going to give me the opposing pieces that match the opposite ones for my two-page spread. Again, we're lining up those points on our cutting line end to end. Somebody who figured that out must have decided that that was exactly the right size to fit on our 12-inch trimmer. So when I lay my two backgrounds out, I am actually thinking that I might want mine to go top and bottom rather than up and down, just because it's a two-page spread. I think if I did it up and down this way, I don't really like the look of that as well as doing it top and bottom. So it's okay to flip your sketches one way or the other. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to go ahead and adhere those. And the only other thing that they show in this sketch is a stripe down through the middle that is a 4 by 12 stripe. I'm not positive yet I'm even going to add that, but I am going to stick these down and then decide how we want to finish out this page. I felt like this one would be a really quick, easy one because there aren't many cuts involved with this and not a lot of decoration. Now, where they show the border lining up on these, you could do that with your border maker system. You could do that with a border punch. I'm choosing to use stickers this time just because I'm still using my stash. But lots of options to make that border. And one of the reasons I chose that green to do that border was the fact that everything else on this page is kind of dark. And I had thought about using that copper shimmer from the Secret Box to do a border here. But again, it seemed kind of dark, and I want to give it something to brighten it up just a touch. Now, I do have my pictures matted on the white. They were matted from the developer, which brightens them up tremendously. But I felt like it needed something a little more in there so it wouldn't be so dark. So we've got all of those stuck. Now, because I only have 2 of these, and I'm going to have 4 of these to work with, I'm going to slice these in half. I think we've done that before with some of our border punches from the Border Maker system. I'm just putting these down on my trimmer, and I'm trying to line it up pretty evenly right here on the side. And it's not exact, but I'll make it work. Now, this side I had cut off of another sticker, so to line it up is going to be a little more of a challenge. But what I'll do when it's all said and done is try to figure out which 2 matched the closest. And I'll put them on the tops together and the others on the bottoms together. And those are a little bit thicker. These are a little bit thinner. So we're going to use these at the top and those at the bottom. Now here again, we have a little issue because when you're working on a diagonal, you're not going to have that exact length. And I'll show you how I'm going to work with that. I'm going to tear this in half right there. Pretty easy to put these on because all you got to do is butt it right up against that paper. And this one I'm going to start right down here, because you know I have several pictures that are going on this page. And I'll just overlap a corner or an embellishment here. And let's go ahead and add this on. This one is a little bit thick. I'm not sure it's going to really matter once we get the pictures on the page. And I'll tear that one in the middle again. Now, if you're doing this with the Border Maker system or a border punch, all I would do is make extras and then piece them together. One of the comments I got from you on one of the videos that I really messed up a lot on was, it's okay because we need to know how to fix our mistakes. And don't we all? I mean, we make them. Sometimes we scrap them and we start over. We just throw away the mistakes. Sometimes we just make it work. And I have to admit, when I was thinking about doing this sticker on the diagonal, I wasn't really thinking about the fact that it wasn't going to be long enough. So, mistakes are an opportunity to embellish. And sometimes you just need a lot of embellishment. All right, I like the colors. I like the contrast between this lighter green and the white and the darker colors we've got going on here. So let's pull out the pictures and see what we've got to work with. Again, these are more scenery pictures. You know, that's basically all I'm doing right now is lots of scenery. And because of the way I've got this arranged, I am going to be covering up parts of the border, but it also gives me a good place to put some up and down pictures that were not really shown on the original sketch. Let's see. I like this. That shows that area more close up. So I'm going to add these 2 here. Just kind of even out my spacing there. And I end up with 1 more. And realistically, this one probably shows a lot more of this area. This is a better picture of us, but this shows a lot more of the area here. So I'm going to swap those 2 out. I do want to leave this just because you can see the vastness of that whole canyon. And we're at a point that all we've got to do is tape these pictures down. So in less than 10 minutes, we've basically got this page done. Now I'm going to tape them down really quickly. And I have not pulled any embellishments for this, and I'm not even sure I'm going to use any because I love the colors we've got going, and I want as much of the design to show as possible on this. Now remember, on the initial design, I'll show it to you again in a minute, it used 2 pictures, 2 horizontal pictures on a 1-pager. We've managed to get 3 pictures. And, you know, if I had anything to crop, we could even fit more than that. But we've managed to get 3 full-size pictures on here. We turned our sketch sideways. And we've made this page in about 10 minutes, give or take. So to me, that's a win-win-win. My open spot right down there, so I need to scoot that top picture down just a little bit. And we'll call this done. So what do you think? 2 pages in 10 to 15 minutes. That's pretty good. And we have page 44 in our sketchbook, sideways, and done. So until I see you next time, happy scrapping.